Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Now that the voting for the Bally Awards is finally over, and I can say this without influencing the results, by the way, thank you for everyone who voted in the Bally Awards. I will have a date and time announcement for when the show will be relatively soon, so stay tuned for that. But now that I can say this without influencing the results, the Bandage Knives Stitch V2 is one of my favorite Balla songs released this year. Since I got it, I have been flipping it constantly, and it has always been sitting on my desk. One thing that I think gets a little overlooked with this thing is that it is a collaboration product with the wonderful Zippy Balla song. And that makes me so excited to open up this case from the ever wonderful and ever generous Ted Flips. But first, I've seen an increase in the number of comments of people who are asking what I'm surrounded by. It's pretty simple, guys. Desk, beanbag chair, couch that I throw random shit on, guitar that I can't play, please don't ask, Transformers shelf, and my stack of random Balla song and childhood Pokemon cards for some reason back there. That's pretty much it. Anyway, inside this wonderful case is the latest and greatest from Zippy Balla song, from Ted himself, who lent me basically his entire new Zippy collection to make these videos. So a huge, huge thank you to Ted. And unfortunately for you guys, I'm going to leave the rest of that for some future videos, because these are Balla songs that I want to give the proper attention that they deserve. Starting off with the Cycloid LC. It has been no secret that the Cycloid HD has been one of my favorite plastic Balla songs of all time. Not necessarily because it's the best flipping plastic Balla song. I do still think that the palette does outflip this thing, but the Cycloid is just so fascinatingly engineered, and I have been in love with it ever since Zippy first revealed that toolless spacer design that I still love so much to this day. It's so clever, and I love it dearly. So imagine my delight when at Blade Show this year, I got to try the LC, which only served to refine that experience. And now, thanks to Ted, I get a chance to try all of Zippy's stuff again in the comfort of my own home without the craziness of Blade Show surrounding me. And the first thing that I want to know, has the spacer system changed at all? Can I still... Oh, interesting. So it looks like there's a new locking mechanism in play here, because fascinatingly, instead of on the HD where the jimping just went up the handle, on this one it seems like the jimping is a cutout inside the handle itself. So I'm assuming I just need to push on the jimping a little bit. Maybe it isn't, maybe that specific part of the experience isn't as refined, but what I can tell you is refined is the flipping profile overall of the Cycloid HD. It has been cleaned up quite a bit. Now, since I can't get the weights out of the bottom here, I can't tell you. I feel like I'm so close, because I do feel it moving. I feel it pressing in like that, but I don't know how to get it out. So I can't really tell you what weight configuration that it is running, but I can already tell you that this thing does flip similarly to the Cycloid HD. Interestingly, there seems to be less weight in the ends of the handles, even though on my personal Cycloid HD, I actually have removed... Never mind. I thought I removed one of the discs. But I have, it seems, all of the discs actually in there. I'm only missing a tungsten ball. So this is pretty close to fully loaded out on my Cycloid HD. I could have sworn I only had one disc in there, but I might be thinking of my old V2. This definitely feels lighter, but the thing that I am loving so much about this is these rounded handles. Look at the handle geometry difference. This is amazing. I am a huge fan. I know it might be a little controversial in the Balla song hobby, but I think rounded Balla songs are just so much fun. There have been a few examples that never really took off of purely round Balla songs, you know, like the Sahara from Glider. I just think they're fun. I would never want a main one. Like, I would never want my main and only flipper to be a rounded balisong like that, but I just think that there is something really fun about flipping them every once in a while, which is what draws me so much to balisongs like, I don't know, the Sliff T that has those chamfers on the handles that make them feel more rounded when they're actually not. And that's what I love so much about these handles. The side here is completely flat, so you can still find it when you're trying to do things like ladders, you know, as I often do. Wow, that was one of my greatest infinity ladders that I have ever done. Thanks, Zippy. You can find the sides to do those ladders fairly easily, but the handle faces are still very round, which make fans very, very fun. But that isn't even the biggest party trick of the Cycloid LC, because the main innovation that Zippy brought to this generation of things is, well, the LC name in and of itself. Lucha compatible. You'll notice here, these are the same handles as the Cycloid, but Zippy has attached a full live blade Lucha to it. And I think that that is just incredible. This thing is such a fun, goofy little flipper. And the fact that I can handle swap a live blade and a plastic trainer blade is just the coolest thing ever. I am so glad you guys decided to nominate Zippy for the most innovative award in this year's Bally Awards, because this is just cool. Don't get me wrong, the Zippy Lucha already existed. So like the idea of putting a live blade on plastic handles, we have seen before. But the fact that I can freely switch between these whenever I want, along with the fact that I can then, I shouldn't hold it like that, that I can then very quickly, if I ever figure it out, that is, swap the weights to balance out that live blade. It's a super cool idea, and I am just in love with it. Woo-wee! The Lucha obviously has more blade weight here, but not as much as you would really expect considering that it's metal. These tungsten balls still do a lot to weigh down the weight, or weigh down the blade, excuse me, of the Cycloid HD in its trainer form. But this thing's just fun, man. There's a lot of blade weight to play with here, which, again, when I make my follow-up video, I will hopefully figure out how to take these spacers out so I can see exactly what the weight configuration in here is, so I can relay that to you guys before I give my opinions on it. But it's just such a fun thing, and it fans so well. These plastic light handles combined with this heavier Lucha blade and the rounded handles makes for some of the most fun fanning that I have felt since the Corvus. And if you know how I feel about fanning on the Corvus, you know how big of a deal and how big of a compliment that is to me. So the Cycloid LC ends up being a balisong that is just so cool in concept to me. And I think that's where I'm going to have to leave it for now, because a concept can only carry you so far. So I'm going to spend a little time with both the live and trainer blade of the Cycloid LC to give you guys my updated thoughts on how it flips and how it is to live with this thing for a week or two. I want to give a huge thank you to Ted Flips for sending these out. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next video for a very fun follow-up. See you then.